recent graduates. I want to hear the loudest people. So who would be the loudest? There's an award for that. Okay. Then, so karibuni sana, the pediatric nursing team. How many are we? Okay. So the EMTs. Okay. The KRCHNs. Yeah. They win the award. So which group am I forgetting? I know you are different classes. We have September, April, so that's fine. But the major graduates, PCCNs, PNTs, KRCHNs, and EMTs. I haven't forgotten any group. So this is your day. I don't know why you guys look very gloomy. I know you are catching up or what could be going on. Or you are smiling behind the masks. I hope so, but if you're smiling behind the mask, we should hear some sounds so that we know you are alive. Okay? So this is your day. I want us to just easen up. Let's celebrate. You know why your class is very unique, your group. So, you know, you are the first people who did the Zoom classes because you started your schooling when you just had the pandemic set in. You're the first people who did the online examination. Okay? And even in terms of performance, I think your performance was one of the best that we've ever had in the history of this hospital. So you have all the reasons to celebrate. You have all the reasons to cheer the speakers, cheer your tutors, and then we'll have a short but very interesting program. I know we don't have any skit or any entertainment, but can we dance? Or we are on heels? Today you're allowed to put on your Sunday best, yeah? So we can dance. The good thing with the gowns, even if you dance, no one will notice you are sweating under the gowns, yeah? You'll only notice that in the evening when you are getting it off. So are you guys ready to dance? Okay, who wants to give us a choice of music they want? So for the time being, one of our faculty members, Kia, will be our DJ. So who wants to get a music of choice? You know, if you lead the dance, this is your day. So you carry the light. Okay, which song do you want to dance to? We are just warming up for our guests. Which song do you want to dance to? Kalen Mokami. Yeah, you've been nominated unanimously by the team, your colleagues, to lead this session. Just some music. We want to warm up so that we put the anxiety levels down. I know some of you are worried their names could be missing in the program. We have not forgotten. So just know your name would be there. Some of you might be thinking the award certificate probably have spelling mistakes. We'll take note of that and correct appropriately. So, Mokami, which music do you want us to play to? DJ. Okay. So as she chooses that, just again, remember, this is your day. And this is the last time you are gathering together as, you know, people from the same place. So enjoy this day, be cheerful. If you have anything you want to ask, feel free to ask. If you want to make any comments, you know, we can always give you that opportunity. So we hope you are going to have a very wonderful, maybe 4 hours that you are going to be here. Okay? So we want to dance a bit, just lower the adrenaline levels. Did you guys choose the processional song that you are going to use as you march in with the guests? Or we put any music? You want us to put, okay, we'll choose something for you. Who came from the farthest county? So which county is this? Kajiado is not the farthest. Kajiado is actually part of the Nairobi metropolitan counties. So it's actually Nairobi. Bomet. Yeah, so there's Bomet and there's what else? Yeah, Turkana. Yeah, Turkana, Lodwise. Yeah, Turkana County is a bit far. Meru County. Meru County is also very far.
Party after party, after party after party, party after party, party after party. We mash up the place. Party after party, then we mash up the place. Party after party, then we mash up the place. Mash up the place. Party after party, party after party, party after party.
So we have Turkana, we have Meru County. Which other counties? Yeah, Mandera. Yeah, Mandera should be further than Turkana. Actually, it should be the farthest. Yeah. Which other counties do we have? Yeah. Okay, be proud of your county. So, which other counties do we have? Nairobi County. Okay, so Nairobi County. Which other county? Lamu County should also be another far county. We have Kericho. I had Kericho County. Which other county? Siaya County is also far, okay, but closer to Europe. Which other county? Mombasa County, and they arrived in time. You know, pole pole, sawa. Which other county? We've mentioned all the counties. Kiambu County, you forgot about Kiambu, and we are almost in Kiambu County where we are, so we really need to recognize their presence. Yeah. Finally, which county have we not mentioned? Taita. Which one is that? Meru. Yeah, Meru, we mentioned Meru. Baite, yeah, so we mentioned Meru. So I think we are well represented. Different counties, different hospitals, different specialties, you know, different age groups, different experiences. So it's going to be an awesome time.
Are you interested in studying management, finance, or business? Join our next open day on
Party after party, party after party, after party after party, party after party, party after party.
Kwa majina ni Yani
Nakujua
na niko na wimbo hii anthem ya walevi.
I wish I knew how to dance.
Washa vela zima feli msani ya komedi.
Just feel free. It's time to warm up a little bit.
Rana jipa mwenyewe. Leta pombe.
So this is the opportunity you have to dance.
Kila mtu apewe. Lewe tulewe. Sina do lakini lazima pombe. Sherehe haipambi bila pombe. Hapa kwa bash tumelewa pombe. Pombe, pombe, pombe. Pombe, pombe, pombe. Shida nikilewa pombe. Nakuwa muongo sana. Shida nikilewa pombe. Naongea kizungu sana. Shida nikilewa dem za watu ni warembo sana. Pombe, leta pombe. Pombe, leta pombe. Siwezi bila pombe. Leta pombe. Leta pombe. Haya, kila mtu akiwa drink basi. Wake up chakula yako. Kila mtu ako na pombe. Kila mtu ako na pombe. Twende basi. Leta pombe. Siwezi bila pombe. Leta pombe. Leta pombe. Haya, kila mtu akiwa drink basi. Wake up chakula yako. Kila mtu ako na pombe. Kila mtu ako na pombe. Twende basi. Kila mtu ako na pombe. Twende basi. Across the nipples. Smooch those nipples. Smooch those nipples. Now swagger that bugger. Swagger that bugger. Smooth above the head. Below the belly. Across the nipples. Smooch those nipples. Smooch those nipples. Smooch those nipples. Smooch those nipples. Now smooch those nipples. Smooch those nipples. Now swagger that bugger. Swagger that bugger. Oh yo yo, mana tunakunywa pombe. Oh yo yo, napenda kwa jug sio kikombe. Oh yo yo yo, tukunywe tulewe pombe. Pombe, leta pombe. Pombe, leta pombe. Siwezi bila pombe. Leta pombe. Leta pombe. Pombe.
Are you ready for me? Go. Yeah. 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 Say. Jesus, the honor of my life.
Sugar daddy, yeah, yeah. Tell it all, yeah. Puff, puff, pass, my baby.
Champagne. Big shout out to Vince on the beat jack. I had to do this for the fans' sake. I'm getting all this love on the fan page. And plus I kill it on a damn stage. Eating my competition like pancakes.
Ushoche ngoso ini zabea machampes. Weni mrazi beste zako ni masanse. Weni babi wesi bishana na janjes. In fact kabla umotoke twaza lunches.
You hella done what you think is up with this rampage. You think you can just insult me cause this man's paid? I'm a G, name a nigga that I can't slay. Don't think you can intimidate me, boy, this man's prey.
Acha moto hapa sili bobo shante. Na hika Nairo tushafungua mabranches. Nishaku mark red dot kama pantre. Kauta kizogo we comply twaza changle. Chukwa hii city sindio champes. Champes, sindio ma champes.
Nah bro, you ain't no champes. Champes, you cannot be champes.
Na kusho sindio ma champes. Champes, sindio ma champes.
Hell nah, you ain't no champes.
Bishane na champes, utaigiwa punches. Zako screensaver, bis zako zote manke.
You gotta relax, man. You're not in this rap game. Sipping on a cheap liquor. We only do champagne.
Luku zako mbwakne, wezi kuwa champes. Unajirombo sabure na ulikuwa classmate.
Nah, brother, see, you can't say. Me, I just stack cake. Oh, we used to school together. Thank you for the update. Seen you from over there, make you tell that it's a contest. Me aim to mediate and make you know that it's the wrong step. You two are the biggest superstars in the country. So in actuality, both of you be champions.
Boys, your champes.
What you mean I ain't no champion? Nah, brother, you are wrong. This boy be a champ.
Oh, we both of the champion.
Hell yeah, I'm a champion.
So if you know that you a champion, put them up, let's go. Champes, sisi ndio ma champes.
Hell yeah, we be the champes. Yeah, we be the champes.
Nasema si ndio champes. Champes, sisi ndio ma champes.
Yes sir, we be the champes. It ain't no question, man, I've been brother. Comedy, I'm in dada. I'm sonning them, I'm big brother. They know I'm the king, brother.
All I do is win, brother. Move like I'm Sin Cara. All about my chingwala. Pull up in an impala. Ain't nobody testing me. Me, I got the recipe. I'm all be the legacy. Bust so don't mess with me.
Impressively, when raising the bar, me do it carefully. Me don't want no bad vibes. Never let them stop me from my destiny. When I bless the beat, I go hard. Like I'm a beast with no heart. Man, I gotta represent. They calling me the Mozart. Bokana big and back and well as it and great. Why I say, let them know they dealing with a champagne.
Champes, sisi ndio ma champes.
Hell yeah, we be the champes. Yeah, we be the champes.
Nasema si ndio champes. Champes, sisi ndio ma champes.
Yes sir, we be the champes. Woo!
Everything you put your hand go walk. Your name go open doors. You self go be a boss. Amen. Amen. Everything you put your hand go walk. Your name go open doors. You self go be a boss. Amen. Amen. Every hustler getting paid. Where the hustle go come the pay. Your own in no go take. do your own. God self go do his own. And flesh go cover bone. Amen. Amen. If you believe it, say amen. If you believe it, say amen. If you believe it, say amen. 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 Everything you put your hand go work. Your name go open doors. You self go be a boss. Amen. Amen. Everything you put your hand go work. Your name go open doors. You self go be a boss. Amen. Amen. Sister where one man receives until where they find begin. One day you go born twins. Amen. Amen. They're not we don't losing job. Landlord come they do like God. One day you go be landlord. Amen. Amen. Good news go locate you. Watch and see it not go take. If you believe it, say amen. No. Amen. Amen. Everything you put your hand go up. Your name go open doors. You self go be a boss. Amen. Amen. Everything you put your hand go walk. Your name go open doors. You self go be a boss. Amen. Amen. Long life go follow you. Strangers go favor you. Great men go honor you. Amen. Amen. One day you go sign the check. Oh. You self go drive that Benz. Oh. This life go still make sense. Oh. Amen. Your children go make you proud, oh. Bad people no go pull you down, no. One day you go run this town, no. Amen. Amen. You self go spray me money. Baby go call you honey. You self go host the party. Amen. Amen. Don't go to go be your friend. To the lag go be your friend.
Kufa aninya jomoko mami toyo fundena ahero sana pilirundo gawia nyati jomoka diri loga pacha jotonga dengo tika yudo konyruok na aniwe auru monda sunge jabata okumtomola toti unani malisa nihisi na wewe milele mpaka kufa unisalie watoto mama na kuahidi utokosa aye idogode monda ketie kone mesa aseko ye inkora teri mosanyola mama na muziki sandima muziki bila jasho
Check. So I'm told some of us are leaving to take photos out there. Just be informed the guest of honor has arrived, and anytime we'll beginning. So kindly just stay within. Yeah, we'll have enough time to take photos after the main event. Thank you.
I have a message. Congratulations. I have a message for you. God has sent me to you. I have a message for you. God has sent me to you. Listen, them say them tell you, say you can never be the one. But God say, make I tell you, say now you him choose in 1 month, in 1 week. You will sing a new song in 2 days, lesser than you will hear. Congratulations, you're in the glory of God. Congratulations, He has done it for you. And you will come back with a new song to sing. God is good. Yes, you will come again with a new song of praise. God is good. Oh, congratulations. 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 Say what the Lord has done for you. Congratulations. God is good. Them say that I can never be all that I see. I've seen that God is greater than that. Who can battle with the Lord? Nobody. Who can change His mind about me? Through many years, in many ways, I have seen His faithfulness forever and ever. Yeah. Congratulations, I have seen the glory of God. Congratulations, He has done it for me. And I have come back with a new song to sing. My God is good. Yes, I will come again with a new song of praise. My God is good.
Okay, so just for protocol, those who joined, we are not going to have the procession for everybody. So when the guests are coming in, we'll ask all of us to stand, and the procession will be for the guests only. And then during the award ceremony, if your name is called, we don't want anyone to use I can call it the aisle. We don't want anyone to use the aisle. So if your name is called, just go around, and then through the stairs, get your gift, and then walk out. Okay, is that clear? So no one should use this middle part. Just wherever you're seated, just go around. Pam will be standing at the corner just to guide you. So just go around, come, pick your gift, walk down. Okay.
Nibariki kwa kadri ya utajiri wake, kwa kipimo cha kujaa, kusukwa hata kumwagika. Atanipa mahitaji yangu kwa kadri ya utajiri wake, kwa kipimo cha kujaa, kusukwa hata kumwagika. Bwana atanibariki kwa kadri ya utajiri wake, kwa kipimo cha kujaa, kusukwa hata kumwagika. Atanipa mahitaji yangu kwa kadri ya utajiri wake, kwa kipimo cha kujaa, kusukwa hata kumwagika. Nani apinge alichosema Mungu? Nani alaani alichobariki Mungu? Hakuna awezaye kuzuia alichotenda Mungu. Na kama kuna pando lopandwa na movu, nangua pando la movu bila angua, andikwa kwa hila, nafuta andiko la hila. Na kama kuna pando lopandwa na movu, nangua pando la movu bila angua, andikwa kwa hila, nafuta andiko la hila. Mimi andikwa nitakuwa kichwa si mkia, wa kwanza si wa mwisho. Bwana atanibariki kwa kadri ya utajiri wake, kwa kipimo cha kujaa, kusukwa hata kumwagika.
Students, the graduates, kindly please take your seats. The chief guest has arrived. He shall be here in the next 5 minutes or so. So make sure you are seated on the right table, please. Atanipa mahitaji yangu Kindly sit on the right table. Remember, we have said you are going to follow the process, the list. Your names will be called according to this list. So that's why we've placed you the way we have. So kindly obey that. Thank you.
Oh, damu ya Yesu imenifanya ning'are. Still alive. Umenifanya ning'are. Umenifanya ning'are. Umenifanya ning'are, Yesu. Hey, umenifanya ning'are. Umenifanya ning'are. Uwe umenifanya ning'are, Yesu. Wewe waitwa nuru, eti nuru ya watu. Ukiingia kwangu, ninang'ara. Ndani ya hiyo nuru, eti kuna uzima. Ukiingia kwangu, nina uzima. Uso wake Yesu, aliye sura yake Mungu. Umeingia kwangu, ninang'ara. Nuru ya Injili, utukufu wake Kristo. Umeingia kwangu, ninang'ara. Umenifanya ning'are, Yesu. 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 Umenifanya ning'are, Yesu.
Ni wakati wako. Afrika yote ya kusifu. Afrika yote ya kusifu. Wa Somali na wa Kongo, wa Rwanda na Waganda. Afrika yote ya kusifu. Afrika yote ya kusifu. Wa Nigeria, Zimbabwe na Liberia. Wa Morocco, makofi, nderemo, kwa kucheza na shangwe, makofi, nderemo, kwa kucheza na shangwe, hapa Kenya, Yesu twakusifu. Kenyans, let's celebrate the doing of the Lord. Yesu twakusifu. Wakikuyu, Wakamba na Wakamba, Wajaluo, Waluya na Waluya. Hapa Kenya, Yesu twakusifu. Nairobi, Kenya. Hapa Kenya, Yesu twakusifu. Wamasai, Wameru, Bokoko, Mijikenda, Wamakofi, Nanderemo, wakucheza na shangwe, Wamakofi, Nanderemo, Afrika, Ziga shangwe, Africa. It's time to celebrate and praise Jehovah.
Te
Check. Okay. So our guests have arrived, and we are just about to begin. By the way, just to inform you, we have so many viewers virtually, and they are showing their love and likes for you people. They are congratulating you. So at the end of this event, if you go to YouTube, you'll be able to watch the whole procession. Okay, so once more, congratulations. We'll ask the DJ to play the processional song as we wait for our guests to walk in. So when our guests are walking in, we'll ask all of us to stand.
All right. You're going to come out from this one. You're going to come out from this one. Come on. Come on. Come on. I will praise you, Lord, for your grace of my life. You have blessed me, oh Father. Now I dance like a winner man. I will praise you, Lord, for your grace of my life. You have blessed me, oh Father. Now I dance like a winner. Oh, I will praise you, Lord, for your grace on my life. You have blessed me, oh Father. Now I dance like a winner man. I will praise you, Lord, for your grace on my life. You have blessed me, oh Father. Now I dance like a winner. So when you see me dance, I dance like a winner man. When you see me dance, I dance like a winner man. Oh, when you see me dance, I dance like a winner man. When you see me dance, I dance like a winner man. So when you see me dance, I dance like a winner man. When you see me dance, I dance like a winner man. When you see me dance,
Let's all be standing. So we can play the processional song as we have our guests walking. So congratulations to the class of 2021.
I will praise you, Lord, for your grace of my life. You have blessed me, oh Father. Now I dance like a winner.
And just dance a bit. Just standing.
Oh, I will praise you, Lord, for your grace on my life. You have blessed me, oh Father. Now I dance like a winner man. I will praise you, Lord, for your grace on my life. You have blessed me, oh Father. So when you see me dance, I dance like a winner man. When you see me dance, I dance like a winner man. Oh, when you see me dance, I dance like a winner man. When you see me dance, I dance like a winner man. So when you see me dance, I dance like a winner man. When you see me dance, I dance like a winner man. When you see me dance, I dance like a winner man. When you see me dance.
For the national anthem. We'll do the national anthem and then the East African Community Anthem, and then we'll have an opening prayer.
viwandani na hata mashambani, tufanye kazi sote.
Will be to ensure that the program is completed within the shortest time possible. For the calls of nature, we have at the back on my left, we have the toilets. So we have the gents and the ladies. Feel free to visit them anytime. I want to specially welcome all of you to this 15th graduation ceremony on the 15th day of August, the year 15th day of October, the year 2021. So 15th October, most of you know, is a very special day for various reasons. The first reason is 15th of October is the World Hand Washing Day. What a coincidence. Remember, the only most effective way of preventing hospital-acquired infections is through proper hand washing. And today, we are seeing graduates of different specialties in healthcare. So there could never be a better date than today. 15th of October is also known worldwide as the World Day of Pregnancy Loss and Infancy Loss Sensitization. Again, we are overseeing graduation of different pediatric specialties on such a day. And finally, 15th of October is known as the World Mushroom Day. If you know something about mushrooms, it's the favorite meal to tortoise. So tortoise love mushrooms. And one thing you know about tortoise is they live the longest. They're one of the animals that live the longest. So probably there's some secret of longevity in eating mushrooms. So it's a coincidence that today we are releasing you to go out to the market and offer your services for the longest period that you remain alive. Therefore, I want to congratulate all of you, and congratulations. Let's all clap and have a round of applause. Okay, so to begin us off, I will request Ms. Mary Ajambo to come forward and give her remarks. Karibu.
Ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed, good morning. On behalf of the graduates, I would like to welcome our board members, distinguished guests, the faculty, alumni, friends and family to the 15th graduation ceremony of Gertrude's Institute of Child Health and Research. But before I start my speech, I would like us to have a moment of silence in honor of our colleagues who lost the battle to SARS-CoV-19. In the hour of need, our bravest stood at the front lines. They fought a good fight and brought victory to our nation. To our bravest, our breath of freedom is seen in our unwavering flag of health. You have made us proud, and your victory shall forever be celebrated. Well, graduates, we have made it. As a group, we started from the bottom, anxious and uncertain about pediatric nursing, and now we are all here, celebrating our determination, sacrifice, sweat and tears through the 1 year of study. Congratulations. Think about how far we have come, both individually and as a group. Looking at our first days, when the new medical jargon sounded like Greek, the numerous assignments seemed impossible to complete, and juggling between clinical placement, work, and school was a nightmare. But all this made us stronger, resilient, and more determined than ever to achieve the goal of becoming the best pediatric nurses. The 2019 and 2020 classes have undoubtedly been the most unique, successful, and outstanding classes in the history of Gertrude's Institute. We were presented by numerous challenges that we had to overcome, and I can't even begin to comprehend how we made it through. From surviving through the toughs and hurdles of the deadly pandemic, COVID-19, learning the existence and becoming experts in operating and participating in Zoom and Google meetings, and proudly fighting COVID-19 from the front lines in the various ICUs, isolation centers, and home care agencies. Indeed, we are an exceptional lot. Making it this far is a testament of our perseverance and commitment to excellence. My dear colleagues and graduates, you are all destined for greatness. Each and every one of you has the potential to give the Kenyan child a better chance to a healthier life. We have all grown and advanced into powerful and intellectual individuals who will take front row seats in policy and program development and be advocates, pioneers, and champions in our journey for a brighter future in pediatric health, both in Kenya and in the continent. The great Martin Luther King Jr. said, "The ultimate strength of a man is not where he stands in the moment of comfort, but where he stands at the time of challenges. So strive to be the best version of yourself, fly through the turbulence of life, and live life because you're a warrior." Mahatma Gandhi once said, the best way to find ourselves is to lose ourselves in the service of others. It seems too often we find ourselves cluttered and weighed down with responsibilities, expectations, commitments, and demands that come with this noble profession. Let's take care of ourselves. Find time to rest, relax, and unwind. Let us check on each other and be our brother's keeper, for we are a team. I salute all of us for our bravery, our selflessness, and the grace in committing to be a candle of hope for the hopeless, a pillar of strength to those who are weak, a shoulder to lean on for those who are lonely, and a whisper of comfort for those in distress. May the Almighty God bless you beyond measure. I would like to appreciate our families, our friends, and our spouses who gave us overwhelming support during our studies, and with their help, we were able to complete our studies. As I conclude, I would like to pass our sincere and heartfelt gratitude to our faculty under the great leadership of our principal, Ms. Perez Obonyo. Firm, strict in instilling discipline, but very humorous. Very caring, supportive, and always available to encourage and quick to resolve any challenges raised by the students. The faculty in this institution, comprising of Ms. Pamela, Ms. Diana, Mr. Emmanuel, who are our course coordinators, and our other tutors, Ms. Abuto, Ms. Nzau, Mr. Victor, and Madam Euphrasia, our librarian. They are just a very unique lot, very knowledgeable, and have a good grasp of the subjects, and they love to do what they were able to do during our studies. I'd also wish to acknowledge the good mentorship offered to us by the clinical staff during our clinical placement. We are very grateful. We are also grateful to the administration of Gertrude's Children's Hospital for providing an ambient, comfortable, and conducive learning environment with modern classes, high-tech teaching aids, fully stocked library. We shall forever remain indebted. May the Almighty God bless Gertrude's management, staff, and everyone who ensured we successfully completed our studies. Winston Churchill once said, "We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give." So let no one ever come to you without living better or happier. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mary, for that powerful speech. So the next guest I want to invite to speak to us would be happy to see her graduates. So I want us just to wave where we are. How many pediatric critical care nurses do we have in the house? Just wave where you are. Okay, so congratulations. How many pediatric nurses do we have in the house? Okay, congratulations. And then how many Kenya registered community health nurses do we have? Wherever you're seated, okay, karibuni sana, congratulations. And finally, the emergency medical technicians. Okay, karibuni sana and feel free. So our next speaker, I want to invite our principal and training manager, Ms. Perez Obonyo, for her remarks. Karibu, Perez.
Thank you, Dan. Good morning. Thank you, Dan. I want to read my speech. The chief guest, Dr. Mercy Mwangangi, Chairman Board of Trustee, Mr. Davis Alek, the CEO, Dr. Robert Nyarango, graduates, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to our 15th graduation ceremony. This is a very special day in our training calendar. We are very proud. Today we are celebrating the graduation of 95 graduates from all our programs. And may I take this early opportunity to congratulate all of you. You have done well. We also want to congratulate your families and supporters who oversaw your training and made sure that you are successful to this day. The classes graduating today are very special to us. They are a first in almost everything. They are the first ones to learn online. They are the first ones to do nursing council exams online. And even amidst all these challenges they are the first to to us the best of the results that we have ever had. Out of these graduates, especially the nursing students, whom are around 65, I am proud to announce that they posted around 35 distinctions. Can you give yourselves a clap? And several credits and also a few passes. We had 100% pass rate. We did not have anyone who failed our exams. And this is inclusive of our EMT class. So give yourself another round of applause. So you have truly made us proud. You have made us to work with our shoulders high. You are very, very good to mentor. You are always willing to listen to us. And this has been evidenced by the results and what we are celebrating today. Since its inception, the Institute has enrolled around 300 pediatric nurses. We have also enrolled 224 pediatric critical care nurses. And out of these, 44% are coming from the county or the government hospitals. Our presence is felt locally and also internationally. And in the local market, we have touched nearly every hospital with our graduates. To mention just a few, a lot of our graduates go to work in Kenyatta National Hospital. We have graduates from Nairobi Hospital, from Mpisha. We have graduates from Kijabe and also outside Nairobi. Some of our graduates are also coming from Kenya Defense Forces, and we are proud that they are not left behind. Internationally, we have a wide arena of reach. We have trained nurses from Rwanda. We have nurses from Zambia. We have nurses from Zimbabwe, and also we have reached Nigeria. And we are still gearing to go far and wide. Because to us, quality healthcare for children is not compromised. Whether you are in Kenya, whether you are in Tanzania, whether you are in the international European world. So we are hoping and expecting that very, very soon our presence will be felt right over. And you, the graduates of today, you are our ambassadors. We expect you to give that feel of what you got from Gertrude Children's Hospital. The training at Gertrude covers a wide range of pediatric-related specialties and emergency courses, which include Advanced Emergency Medical Technician course, phlebotomy, European Advanced Life Support, Advanced Cardiac Life Support, Basic Life Support, First Aid, which targets care givers to the children, specifically nannies, drivers, teachers, and everybody who takes care of children. Because we do not want the life of a child to be compromised, whether they are at school, whether they are in the village, whether they are at home when their parents are working. And that's why we saw it right that we should have this kind of cadre trained so that they are prepared to deal with any eventualities and any emergencies that occur within their environments. So we are really, really trying to touch lives. We are trying to make sure that the child, wherever they are safe. To our graduates today, you are our chief guests. We are very, very proud of you because we believe that what you have achieved, what you have been trained at our ex-team school is going to change the way practice of child health care is done outside there. And therefore, I want just to give a few advices to you. On professionalism and service, we expect high diligence and integrity as you carry out your duties. Be thoughtful. Remember to always apply critical thinking before you act. Do your best always and put the patient, client, and the family's interest first. Do this without murmuring, for remember nobody can pay you as a healthcare provider, and especially as a nurse. Quoting from the book of Colossians 3:23 to 24, and remember, whatever you do, do it heartily unto the Lord, and not to men, knowing that from the Lord you will receive the reward of inheritance, for you serve the Lord Christ, and he who sees in secret will also reward you in the open. Please do not expect that somebody can really pay you for your service. It is only God who can pay you, because what we do is beyond the employer's payment. Is that true? So do not start murmuring, do not start complaining, oh, I've gone to school and they are not even increasing my salary. The Lord is paying you, just do your best. Mother Teresa said, there are no great things, only small things with great love. Do these small things matter, and they ease the pain and the suffering of those under your care. On behavior and attitude, Albert Bandura, social learning theory, portends that people learn You know very well I love Bandura. So can I talk about Bandura? So Bandura, social learning theory portends that people learn more by observing and copying others. So you remember you are going to be mentors, you're going to be team players, you're going to be the specialist, and people are waiting to see what change. What are you going to do differently? Do the best that you can, always behave well, do your practice well, and also love well. Remember to follow the protocols so that the people around you can be impacted positively. Let your actions speak more than your words. Let people see you and they long to come to school. Let people see you and say, surely she went to Gertrude, or he went to Gertrude, and something has happened in their lives. On growth, strive to grow professionally, intellectually, emotionally, through continuous study. You can do major courses so that you can grow caudally upward. You can also do short courses so that you can grow. What is this? You fatten yourself, yeah? So grow always. Remember, any practice that is not practice will be extinct. You remember that one? So practice and continue renewing your knowledge, and that will give you the power to practice and the power to serve. Emulate our mother of nursing, Florence Nightingale, who taught us that little things that lead to patient comfort and enhance healing, such as environmental hygiene, light, and no noise. Make sure that the environment where you practice is clean, is conducive for the patient's comfort and healing. And not only healing, remember, if you take care of the environment, you'll also be reducing on infections. So we expect you to be on the forefront to make sure that our patients are not overstaying in the hospitals, but they are healing very, very fast. For the EMTs, please be vigilant. Remember, you're in the community. Be vigilant, be agile, and respond effectively to the emergency situations in your environment. Act fast and do timely referrals, for we rely on you if we are going to reduce mortalities within this country. Last, be a team player. Remember Henry Fayol's principle of management, esprit de corps. You cannot do it alone. You have been trained, you are specialists, but you are just one out of the many. So you need to work with others in your environment, in your clinical placement areas, to make sure that you achieve the main objective of quality healthcare to children. Teach them on their own job training, because all of them will not fit in our classrooms. And make sure that you are very clear and very objective enough to help the people you are working with. And now, before I sit down, I want to take this opportunity to recognize the presence of our distinguished guests. We have representation from the counties. Ms. Esther Samoire, CEC Kajiado County. We have Mr. Gerald Masharia, Vice President, East and Southern African for Clinical Health Initiative, Access Initiative. We have Ms. Caroline Mushina from the Nursing Council. We have Ms. Joyce Mbeda from the Nairobi Hospital Principal. We have Fred Kinoti from Mata Hospital Principal. We also have Ms. Serafino Gatwiri from the Aga Khan Hospital. All these people have come to join us together as we celebrate your success. Ms. Consolata Kalafa and Mr. Michael Mboga, both representing the pediatric chapters. Last but not least, please applaud the team, the great team that worked together with me in the training school, who have made sure that you are successful in whatever you do. And I would ask them to just rise up so that people can see you. Please rise up so that people can see you. Without these people, you would not have been able to really get. Can you clap for them? So the team comprises of Pamela Mengo. Today she was ensuring that things ran well. Pamela, please stand up and wave to the people. Pamela is in charge of our critical care program, and they're working together with Emmanuel Care. Care, please wave. Next, we have Ms. Diana Mutwiri, who takes care of pediatric nurses class. Please wave to the people. We have Winnie Abuto, who takes care of KRCHN class. Winnie, please. And Winnie works closely with Winnie Zhao. Winnie Zhao, please. Jen Duarte also works in the program. Please wave. I'm not seeing Victor. Victor, you are there? They call him what? There's that name you call him. So Victor takes care of all our emergency programs. And we have Stella Maris Wambua. Wambua, I saw you. Where are you now? So Wambua takes care of our students in the clinical area. We have Mr. Richard Namu, who takes care of the emergency technicians. And those are the team that we work with, among others who are not represented. Thank you very much. Once again, congratulations to the graduating team. Thank you.
Hiyo makofi tuongeze kidogo. So thank you, Madam Principal, for your remarks. It's now my pleasure to invite the County Executive Committee member for Health for Kajiado County to make her remarks. Kindly, we'll consult a little bit. So a slight change to the program. I'll invite the remarks from the Clinton Health Access Initiative Vice President for East and Southern Africa, Gerald Masharia. Let's give him a round of applause.
Dr. Marcel Mwangangi, our chief guest, Mr. Alec Davis, Chair of the Board of Trustees of Gertrude Children's Hospital Board, Dr. Robert Nyarango, the CEO, my friend Dr. Thomas Ngwere, who we work with closely on the work that we do with Gertrude. And of course, Madame Perez, who stood up here and had some wise words to say to everybody. Good morning. Well, heading to afternoon now, but good morning. I'm going to be very, very brief. I was just talking to Dr. Nyarango and Mr. Davis about our association with Gertrude going way back to 2005 when we helped build the outreach clinic at Githogoro. And since then, we've worked closely with a number of folks who are associated with Gertrude in the area of children's health. And so I'm delighted to be standing here today in this graduation ceremony. We have, working with the Kenya Pediatric Association, made resources available to train a total of 56 nurses in pediatric nursing and critical care nursing. And I'm glad to see that today we're graduating a total of 19 from this cohort that is sponsored by this initiative, 11 in critical care and 8 in pediatric nursing. So we still have 38 more to go. There are 38 more scholarships available. So tell your friends working with the counties to start hunting down the CECs and the county directors of health, so that when those vacancies, opportunities are made available, they can also benefit the way this class has benefited. Graduating is nice. We're just talking, Dr. Mwangangi, and I was telling her I can't remember the last time I wore a gown like this. And I confessed that I never showed up for my doctorate graduation because I was busy doing other things elsewhere. And so it feels sort of different to be wearing these gowns. Madam Perez has spoken and charged you to go and do what you need to do out there. And I'm sure you will be taking an oath at some point. But one of the things that I would tell you is that when you acquire skills and you're not able to impart those skills, you're being unfair to the world that gave you the opportunity to acquire those skills. So go out there and impart those skills to others. So the same way that you have been taught and trained to save children's lives, that you would do the same to those you'll be working alongside. And of course, our colleagues in the Ministry of Health, we have been working together closely to see whether they can match what we have put together jointly with KPA, so that there are more of your colleagues getting the opportunity to be trained the same way that you have been trained. And I'm glad to say that the ministry has been very cooperative and have made available some matching opportunities that are currently being processed, so that we can train more and more of your colleagues the way you have been trained. And the ministry has been very cooperative on that particular matter. So today I congratulate you all. Go out there and practice what you have been trained. We have been working with the counties as CHAI to make sure that when you go back to your station, you have everything that you need to practice the skills that you have learned. And we will be following you, not in a bad way, but just to make sure that you are comfortable practicing what you have been trained to practice. So don't get shocked when you see some of our people coming to look for you at your station, just to make sure that you're comfortable and you're practicing what you are trained to practice. And again, congratulations. Go out there and put these skills to good work for the benefit and the sake of our children. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Macharia, for the remarks. So tuongeze kilo ya makofi. Okay. So which date is today? The 15th of October. And which graduation is this? the 15th graduation. You know, it's a nice coincidence. So if you ever forget anything, please do not forget the 15th day of October, celebrating the 15th graduation ceremony for Gertrude's Hospital. Something I didn't mention about 15th of October is it's the first time man ever flew. So there was a hot air balloon that actually let people go to the air for a few minutes. And this was sometimes back in 1783. So there's a lot of fasts about this 15th day of October. Also including, like what we said was special about you, you are the first class that ever did their classes virtually because of the COVID pandemic. And you are the first class that did their nursing council exam virtually again because of COVID pandemic. So you are a class that we really hold dear, and we celebrate you so much on this day. I want to invite our next speaker, and he's just arrived. So as he takes his breath, I'll invite the County Executive Committee Member for Health, Dr. Joseph Mbai, who's also the chair, the executive chair of the Health Caucus for CECs in the Republic of Kenya. Karibu, Dr. Mbai.
Good afternoon, all of us. I must say that I'm very delighted to be here this afternoon, and I don't have the advantage of knowing who is present in terms of protocol, so I will say all protocols observed and give my remarks. As the chair of the CEC caucus, I'm here to represent the counties and council of governors, because all of us know that health is a fully devolved function. But I must say that when I was doing my master's, I wrote my thesis on strategic resources and quality service delivery of healthcare. And I was looking at one component which is called strategic human resource. And when you talk about strategic human resource, you actually talk about the skills that are given to the people who will serve our patients. And as I stand before you, I'm well aware that this is a graduation that has given you now the power to go and probably deliver the quality service that we want to see in the counties. And one of the things I always tell my team, as a person in the medical field, if you are assigned a station to go and serve people, every day you leave home, and by the time you go back, two things can happen to you. Number one, you can go home with a blessing. Number two, you can go home with a curse, depending on how you handled a certain patient. How I wish that the powers that have been given to you today will help you to go home every day with a blessing. And counties now have invested a lot in critical care. For example, for us in Murang'a County, we have an ICU that has 5 beds. We need a lot of critical care nurses. We've employed some, and I want to thank this fellowship for helping the counties to train more critical care nurses, because you realize that The counties have started investing so much in critical care units, NBUs, NICUs, and you will find them. And more are still coming. My request to you all is that when you go back, try as much as possible to reduce incidents of infant mortality and morbidity, because you have been taught well how to do that. Go and set an exemplary direction, train others who will be in that space, and make sure that you are the ones who is at the center of the main text. And what I mean by main text is that, you see, when a book is written, there is the main text, but there are footnotes. And you know, sometimes in the footnotes, they write, even so and so was also there. But in the main text is the whole story. So you must make sure that as you go back to your respective counties to do pediatric critical care, you must make sure that you are in the main text. You shouldn't be the one leading things like strikes. You shouldn't be the one participating in making sure that patients are not seen, because the level where you have reached now is a level of leadership. And leadership does not require you to have a title like mine. You don't have to be called the CEC Health. You don't have to be called the chair of the CC caucus. You don't have to be called the nursing officer in charge. You don't have to be having any title to lead. You can actually lead in service. You can lead in patient's care. You can lead in the way you plan, because I know you've been taught how to plan well. And you can also lead in whatever other aspect that takes care of our good patients. So I therefore want to wish you well and congratulate you this day for that achievement. But remember, every achievement comes with a responsibility. Is someone listening to me? Every achievement comes with a responsibility. And that is the responsibility that we are charging you to go and deliver in the counties. I'm sorry I came late. I had so many other things in the morning. I had sent a representative probably who also got stuck. But I thank God I'm here to celebrate this with you, to share the joy, and also to commission you and tell you to go and do that appertains that, as it has been said earlier. I don't know whether it was said earlier, but I want to presume that it was. And with those many remarks, may the God of heavens bless you so much and give you the spirit of service so that you can go out there and serve our patients. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. for that loaded remarks. So we can give one hearty clap. So let's warm it up. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay. It's my pleasure now to invite the Chief Executive Officer, Gertrude Children's Hospital, Dr. Robert Nyarango, to make his remarks.
So I hope I'll be allowed to take off my mask. The chief guest, Dr. Mwangangi, the CIS for Health, Mr. Gerald Masharia, the Regional Vice President for Clinton Health Access Initiative, Alec Davis, our Chairman Board of Trustees, Dr. Mbai, representing the counties, Madam Perez, who is our main host or hostess today, all invited guests, graduates, Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yeah, so our graduations are usually a bit different. If you notice, we used to shaking hands and hugging and most importantly, dancing, which is a bit absent today because of COVID. So because we can't hug you and dance and celebrate with you, I want to welcome all of us to stand, plus the guests. And we're going to congratulate you American style, give you a standing ovation, and we will clap until the chief guest sits down. That's when we'll stop clapping. So it's up to her. If we do it for 1 hour, for 30 minutes, for, yeah, so 1, 2, 3, off. Okay, there we go. So thanks a lot. So to the class of this year and obviously last year, because this is a double graduation, I want to say congratulations. As Perez has said, this is a momentous occasion for you and your families, but also for our institute because of the excellent results that you posted. I think it's not a mean achievement that we had every single student pass the exams at 100%, and out of that, 35% passed with distinction. So I think that's a very excellent performance. It puts hospital on the map as far as training is concerned, and obviously I hope that you may have by now gotten very many calls about placements, that looking for a job will not be a big challenge for you, but I urge you to go back to your stations because that was the plan, isn't it? That you come, you train, and then go back to your stations and better the quality of pediatric care. So I really urge you to go back. Perez said that you don't ask for a pay rise. Probably you should. There's nothing wrong with that. But having said that, please make sure that you put in the work, because ultimately the reason why we are here is part of a bigger plan to reduce child morbidity and mortality, as Dr. Mbai has said. So please don't go and say, now I'm a boss, I need an office, and I only see the difficult cases. You know that argument? Yeah? Your work is to attend to all children and to make sure that the quality of the training and the skills you've gotten translates to reduced occupancies, reduced length of stay, reduced mobility, and most importantly, reduced mortality. So please do that. And as Gerald has said, there'll be a follow-up process. So somebody actually will come and see that you're doing the work, because then the intention is not just to train. Training is just an output of this process. So we'll make sure that that is done. So I want to tell you a quick story, just to make 2 points before I invite our chair. About 4 years ago, I went up country. You know, during Christmas, everybody goes with your kids. Obviously, when you go, those of us who will live from Nairobi to the counties, you will carry a small stock of pharmacy, isn't it? Because you figure out some diarrhea, some vomiting, some painkiller, probably some antibiotic, because you want to prepare if something goes wrong, isn't it? So at 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, I had a 3-year-old son. And so he started crying, you know, uncontrollably, writhing in pain, clashing to his tummy and his ears. And where I come from, it rains, you know, the proverbial cats and dogs. So it had rained. And so we looked at a stock of medicine and said, okay, we had a thermometer, so the fever was high. I gave something for the fever. Because it was clashing to his tummy, we had cyclopam, you know, cyclopam. So gave cyclopam, but then the child could not stop crying. So my wife made what seemed to be a very logical suggestion: let's take him to hospital. So that is logical, but then we had to contend with 2 practical aspects. It had rained, so we had to answer the question how, and then number 2, we had to answer the question where. So the how was easy because we had a 4-wheel drive car, so some might have thought we would make it. But now we had to do a quick elimination of the facilities and say this is where we likely to end up to hospital. So we showed up, after an hour of drive to the facility, and they had to wake people up. And a 65-year-old Italian doctor showed up, and we were very happy. You know, in my mind, I was saying, there comes calm and experience. We are in safe hands. So he came and looked at the child, and he announced that I'm an adult surgeon. But let me see what I can do. So he looked at the child, looked at the ears. He didn't have, you know, the basic tools, and so he looked lost. And he pronounced that, I think, because this is a country, an insect might have crawled into his one of his ears. But of course, we had checked. You know, when a child starts crying up in Oshago, you quickly check, was he been bitten by something? So we were totally not convinced. So he said, unfortunately, beyond what you've done, the medication you've given, there's not much else I can do. So please go back home and wait for the sunlight and try the main town, nearest town, and most probably you'll get a doctor or a pediatrician. So we started the journey home. Luckily, you know, the way kids are, some of the child fell asleep. We went back home. The following day, we went to the nearest hospital. We got a pediatrician, the only pediatrician in the entire town, and she said, I sent my otoscope to Nairobi for repair. It hasn't come back. It hasn't come back. But somehow the list of medication that you've given should be able to work. So, I mean, somehow the child was sorted out. Now, a quick forward to 2021 October. Yesterday, I sent 2 of my close relatives for surgery in Nairobi. The reason being that for 2 weeks, back where I come from, and sorry for the stories I'm making, you might think where I come from is totally backward, but probably that is some sensors of a good number of places. For 2 weeks, they could not figure out what was wrong with them. So 2 weeks hydrating, so rushed them to Nairobi via ambulance, of course, E+. One had an obstructed intestines, and the other had a liver issue, you know. So, long story short, they were taken to theater, first surgery. Yesterday they were in for the second surgery. I think they should be okay, and they should go back home. So the reason why I'm telling you these 2 stories is, and how they relate with what we're doing here, is because I think, whereas this is a graduation of nurses, I think sometimes it gets lost, or we lose the fact of the bigger reason why we're doing this. They say that the biggest investment that you can make in a nation or in a society is to develop the human capital. And the 2 things that have the biggest impact is education and healthcare. So if as many of your people can have an education, the human capital index will increase. I guess 95% of the people who are here, we escaped poverty by the fact that our parents took us to school somehow, and because of that, we're able to access a living wage, and we'll be fine. If you take average human index rate, we should do well. So education has a very big impact, and the government, I think, has done a lot to do that. The next thing that has the highest impact on improving human capital is healthcare. To have as many people access healthcare, have equitable access to healthcare, meaning even in my village, all these people that I'm feeding here should have access to healthcare, isn't it? Have as many people access healthcare, and have them access what the WHO call a reasonable quality of healthcare, not necessarily a Cadillac, you know, high-end healthcare, but also not to bankrupt them as they seek healthcare. So we should try to meet those 3 things. And again, thanks to our government, I think the best approach to that is universal health coverage, and the government is doing a lot to achieve that. So the biggest component, one of the biggest components of healthcare, other than figuring out who pays for the care, is who provides the care, what we call HRH, Human Resources for Health. Unless we sort that out in my village and in every other village that mine represents and the entire country, then we'll have a lot of work to do in improving access to care. So I think what we are doing here is a very small component of trying to do that, and that's why we are urging those who've been trained, please go back to your village, so that if by chance I'm there with my son or somebody there, or the villagers who are there with their sons and kids, when they're looking for healthcare, they'll find you to provide the care. In this country, I think the numbers are that we have 42% of the doctors that we need for the country. So you can imagine the gap. And we have 35% of the nurses that we need. So the gap is 70-something percent in terms of the number of nurses and doctors that we need. There'll always be an argument that you have nurses and doctors who are not employed, isn't it? But if you take the population, match the number of doctors required and the number of nurses required, the gap is, for the doctors is about 60%. 60%. And for the doctors about 60%, and for the nurses it's 70-something percent. So, and of those that are available, 85% will be in the public areas, in the urban areas. And that is why my 3 relatives I'm talking about got care in an urban setting. So I think the challenge in terms of sorting out human resources for health is big. And the reason why I'm telling these stories is to confirm to the Ministry of Health and Clinton Health Access that as far as pediatric care is concerned, we as Gertrude's Hospital look at it as our mission to try and bridge that gap. So what we've done here is excellent, it's good. We've graduated 95 people, but I think it's a scratch of the surface of what is required to bridge the gap. The Red Cross Children's Hospital in South Africa boasts, and I think rightly so, to be the center of training for pediatric human resource. They train nurses. Actually, our curricula for training, if I'm not wrong, we borrowed from them in liaison with the University of Cape Town. And of course, they train fellowships for doctors. But the truth is, Red Cross Children's Hospital sees half the patients that we see as Gertrude Children's Hospital. For many years, they were boasting to be the largest children's hospital in Africa, but we discovered that actually we are the largest children's hospital in Africa by the number of patients that we see. So it means we have as varied pathologies as you can get to train healthcare workers, and we have set up the infrastructure to do that. So our challenge is to the Ministry of Health and Clinton Access Initiative and Elmer Philanthropies and everybody else that probably we need to lock ourselves in a room after this and say how do we scale this up so that in the next graduation we are probably talking about hundreds of graduates and not 95 graduates. So we hope that we'll be knocking at the doors of the ministry and Elmer and Clinton Health Access to try and sort that out. Because unless we do that, the challenge with human resources for health, that the problem is likely to get worse in the next few years because we have more people being born, the populations increase. Every country has a shortage of healthcare workers, so the more you train, the more people will. I'm sure here, about half of the people are browsing websites for UK and the US to map out the next step. And that's the reality in which we live. So I think we need to really, really scale up the training. The second and last point I want to make about my 3 relatives is that in this country, it is true right now that most mortality is caused by communicable diseases, and it has been for a while. But I think we are transitioning to having more problems to deal with in terms of non-communicable diseases. In pediatrics, those will be a congenital heart disease, will be a cancers, and so many things. The biggest challenge we have to address in terms of improving access to care is diagnosis. So for 100% of my relatives, the challenge was that they could not get a proper diagnosis. The biggest gap in pediatric care in this country for non-communicable diseases is diagnosis. Just an example, every single year in this country, you have about 10,000 children born with congenital heart disease that require surgery. Probably only 1,000 of them get diagnosed, and about 300, if I'm correct, Dr. Ngwili, get surgery. So you can imagine that gap from 10,000 to 300. And the reason is that the bulk majority, over 90%, are not diagnosed. And they'll only discover they have a heart condition when they go to school. The teachers think they're a bit slow. They'll only discover they have these other conditions they can't hear because the teacher thinks they're slow. And so I think as a country, we need to invest a lot in improving diagnosis, especially in pediatrics. And again, I want to challenge our partners that is something. We've done very many pilots as Gertrude's Hospital to improve care for example, for hearing. We worked with the Machakos County Hospital and Thika and many other guys to do a pilot for screening, and we discovered there are many kids in this country who can't hear. And it led for us to set up a hearing center because there was a very big need. Now, in the rest of the country, we don't do screening for hearing. So you can imagine if we did everywhere, how many kids will be saving from not developing optimally because they can't hear. We've done a few pilots of detecting congenital heart disease, and I think in 3 months, Dr. Ngwiri, we were able to get 11 kids who required surgery in Makueni, Musambweni, and got them to come and get surgery. And we're happy that the ministry is working with us in that program. And we hope that we can roll this out to all the counties and get as many kids who require cardiac surgery. We're doing a similar program for cancer treatment for children. Our approach, I think, should be that we should not have fragmented processes for diagnosis. Probably we should have a very structured, concerted approach to work with as many counties as possible to improve diagnosis. If we do that, then we'll be on our way to getting as many kids get care and improving human capital as far as children and their families are concerned. So I think for me, that is the challenge that we need to take up for today, and I really hope that we'll have that discussion and probably figure out how to scale this up so that then we'll have a very big impact in the care for this, for our children and for their families. So once more to the graduates, congratulations, and we hope to see you in your workplaces and translating your learnings into actual care provision to children and their families. So with those remarks, I want to invite the chair of our board of trustees, Mr. Alec Davis. We want to recognize that he's attended every single graduation that we've had, and so it's his time now to make his remarks. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Robert. Some wise words and a very good exposition of some of the challenges that the industry faces, which I hope you will take on board. It's early days for you yet, but I'm sure many of you will become senior people in your profession, and these are some of the challenges that the country has to face. The chief guest, Dr. Mercy Mwangangi, Dr. Joseph Mbai, and Mr. Gerald Musharia, our guests, and also invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this, the 15th graduation ceremony, as has been pointed out, of the Gertrude Institute of Child Health and Research, but actually it's the 16th year since its establishment. Regretfully, of course, last year, the ceremony having to be cancelled due to COVID. Though not yet behind us, certainly the pandemic is in retreat, and I'm pleased that we can resume this year, albeit with a restricted attendance, without families, which is much regretted because I know everybody likes to have their supporters with them. I extend a special welcome and congratulations to all the graduates. You have worked hard for your qualification, and both you and your families must be very proud of the achievement. This year, we have a doubled graduation, of course, of 95 students, which is a record, from the 4 courses that includes those who couldn't graduate last year due to COVID. On the 4 courses, pediatric nursing, pediatric critical care, the Kenya registered nurses, and of course the emergency medical technician certificates. There is now a great responsibility on the shoulders of all of you new graduates to not only apply your newly learned skills to patient care, but also to lead and share your knowledge with others who have not benefited from your training. You have achieved a great deal by succeeding on your course, and I know the results this year have really been exceptional. Now you have the opportunity to succeed a great deal more in the wider contribution that you can make to society. Also remember that we never stop learning, and graduation is only the beginning of a long journey. Learn from others, and also keep up to date with medical developments through reading and further training. If you do this, I'm sure you'll be highly successful in your careers. Gertrude is now firmly established as the region's leading pediatric hospital, and as Robert was saying, maybe the leading pediatric hospital in sub-Saharan Africa. And our responsibility is to be a centre of excellence for paediatric care, and also to develop paediatric specialists for both our own and for wider deployment in other institutions. Development of the hospital's training activities therefore always been prioritised, the Training Institute being licensed in 2005 And since then, over 600 people have qualified, something we're very proud of. As we've heard, over 40% have been from the public sector, and all of these highly skilled and highly committed graduates are improving the lives of the many children that they now serve. We've always enjoyed a close relationship with the public health sector, of particular note being the current programme to train nurses from the county institutions in paediatric care. Today, the first group of 19 nurses graduate, and we thank the Ministry of Health, the county government, Elmer Philanthropies, the Kenya Paediatric Association, and the Clinton Health Access Initiative for the role each party has played in making this programme a success, and I can see it's going to be growing into the future. Other recent initiatives are partnering with the Ministry of Health through the National Cancer Institute in building capacity in paediatric cancer care, and running pilot schemes in Kwale and Makueni counties to improve the diagnosis of congenital heart and other non-communicable diseases, as Robert was mentioning. Of course, COVID has been a major trauma for the world, Kenya included. Though fortunately, through a combination of good government, management and environmental factors, we have avoided the severe infections experienced elsewhere, especially in the paediatric population. Gertrude's Hospital has been actively involved in managing the pandemic, administering nearly 15,000 vaccines so far and establishing a PCR testing facility that has carried out about 40,000 tests. We've also successfully managed COVID-positive children and provided regular services in a safe environment. Like many institutions, Gertrude's experienced a COVID-induced downturn last year, though I'm very pleased to say that the activity levels have returned strongly and we are now busier than ever. This year, our complement of over 700 dedicated staff will treat over 300,000 patients, outpatients, through a network of our 16 medical centres, mostly around Nairobi, and will admit over 9,000 patients to our Muthaiga facility. We are proud also of our USA Joint Commission International Accreditation that demonstrates the quality of our commitment. Recent initiatives include investment in molecular testing equipment, an ongoing project to establish a Kisumu clinic, a program in collaboration with Safaricom to establish telemedicine centres at regional county hospitals where our special expertise can be shared, and the introduction of low-cost access clinics in the lower income areas. Also, through the Active Gertrude's Foundation, we are heavily involved in providing free health care for the underprivileged. This year, over 20,000 people being vaccinated and treated at our outreach clinics. We are a major national institution, and we must remember this, and we're also very proud of the contribution that we make. Certainly, the hospital is now very well resourced and is a high-quality institution as a result, though this would not be possible without the excellent staff we have. And I would like to pay particular tribute to the management team under Dr. Robert Nyarango and all you staff who do such a wonderful job in creating what we have today, with a special mention to Perez, the Training Institute manager, who has done such a good job in leading and developing the training facilities. And I would also say, talking to people generally, that there is a recognition of the quality of Gertrude's staff and the general culture of the organisation. And certainly we are a very well-respected institution throughout the medical world in Kenya, and we can all be very proud of that. As I finish, I must sincerely register on behalf of Gertrude's trustees our gratitude to the Ministry of Health for the immense support they have given us towards paediatric training. As mentioned, many of the nurses on our courses are sent by them, and they also provide assistance in so many other ways. We look forward to continued growth of this relationship that will contribute to our mutual objective of reducing infant mortality and creating a much healthier new generation. It is now my very great pleasure to introduce our guest of honour, Dr. Mercy Mwangangi. We are most honoured to have your presence here today, as I know you're very busy and have many other commitments, and we very much look forward to hearing your wise words for our graduates. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. Congratulations to each and every one of you. As we were walking in today, I was trying to make eye contact with some of you on the aisle, and I was just trying to think what is going through your mind right now. I think the CEO has mentioned that most of you are probably on websites trying to figure out what the next step looks like. And what we want to say, particularly from the Ministry of Health, is that we are especially proud of you. You are what is known as a strategic resource. You are what is known as that weight that pushes up our human capital index. And I was very happy to hear the CEO speak, because he was speaking a lot of ministry speak, the things that we talk about when we're in MOH. And so extremely proud to be here today to officiate your graduation ceremony. I couldn't be more proud. I do send greetings to you from the Ministry of Health. Today is a special day for us because we have different functions ongoing where we are trying to further the journey towards UHC. And one of the things that we are doing, I'm glad has been mentioned by your chair, is actually setting up telemedicine centers and collaboration towards that. Within this week, the President will be launching some of the telemedicine initiatives that we have in the Ministry of Health. And so it's quite exciting to hear that even as Gertrudes, you are in that space and you're trying to use the new technology to move this forward. The Chair Board of Trustees, Mr. Alec Davis, thank you for your commitment to attending all graduation ceremonies. It's not usual to have the chairman of a board always there, and I could sense his enthusiasm, and he was saying there's no dancing this year, there's no clapping this year, so thank you for that commitment in being here together with the graduates. The CEO, Dr. Roberts, who's shared with us a picture of what happens across the country in all different setups. And as he was relaying that story, I couldn't help but think of my own story, where I live, in terms of access to care. The nearest facility to me is a level 3 health center. And there was a time we were in the farm doing some digging, and my brother got a cut with the barbed wire, the mesh, and he did a very nice dissection for him. It was actually, for those who are into dissection, it was a very good dissection, and he needed to go and get his TT. And we rushed him to the health center there, and it was closed. There was no one there. And you can imagine working in the ministry, we had to wait, make a few phone calls here, talk to the county teams in Machakos, find out what's going on with this health center. And so it's a picture that is very clear, very intimate with most Kenyans, and therefore it is something that we need to definitely invest in, and you come in as a strategic resource in helping us in that space. Thank you to your principal tutor, Mr. Perez Obonyo, all the heads of departments, the chair of the CC represented by Joseph Mbai here, invited guests, Gerald Masharia, who really is one of the partners that we work with in the Ministry of Health. And through CHAI has managed to support us in different initiatives, including the offering of scholarships. Some of you have been facilitated through CHAI, and so we thank you, Gerald, for those efforts. Allow me to begin by congratulating all of you on your graduation today. I feel greatly honored and privileged to be the chief guest at this 15th commencement ceremony. Today we witnessed 13 pediatric nurses, 56 pediatric critical care nurses, 6 registered nurses, and 20 emergency medical technicians who are going to get their professions and their credentials recognized today. This is indeed a great achievement. Pediatric nursing courses equip learners to understand the magnitude of childhood health problems and to be familiar with demographic issues, health disease patterns, regional disparities, preventive measures, as well as manage children needing critical care within health facilities. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to recognize and appreciate the role that the private sector plays in health service provision in this country. I want to particularly thank Gertrude's Children's Hospital, the board, the CEO, the management staff, and yourselves also who've contributed to the success that Gertrude is. Since its inception in 1947, Gertrude's Children's Hospital has provided internationally accepted high-quality care as confirmed by the Joint Commission International Accreditation, and this, of course, has led to an immense contribution by the hospital when it comes to provision of medical and surgical pediatric care.
We do have various partnerships, and most speakers who've come here before us today have shared the different partnerships that exist. I do take note of partnerships between yourselves and the national and county governments in preventive care, particularly when it has come to the childhood vaccination program, whereby Gertrude has almost every year vaccinated close to 75,000 children, and we thank you for that. I must say that yesterday we were in a meeting and Kenya was getting commendation for consistently doing very well when it comes to childhood vaccination programs. And so your contribution in this space is duly appreciated. I'm delighted to deliver this speech to you today and to witness the enormous progress that this training school has achieved over the years. Gertrude's Pediatric Nursing Training School was approved by the Nursing Council of Kenya in 2004 and started training in 2005. And I'm pleased to know that so far we have close to 296 pediatric nurses, 206 pediatric critical care nurses that have graduated from this institution and have been placed across different counties. I would also like to recognize your contribution to the Big Four agenda, particularly the UHC agenda, through the training of healthcare workers. And you, the graduates today, who are graduating today, are not only going to be placed in private facilities, but also in public and faith-based institutions. And so it is this collaboration and partnership that we thank you for and that we recognize as we move towards attaining UHC. I'm happy also to note that you continue to have over 500 specialized nurses that have graduated from this school since its inception. And then to echo the words of the CEO and all the other speakers who've come before us, that this is just a little scratch that we've met, and there continues to be a great need to invest, both as government and as partners, in building the human resource here within the country. The Ministry of Health remains committed to see that we continue to have more nurses receive specialized training, and that we also extend these opportunities to our neighbors, including Uganda, Rwanda, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and Nigeria. And as you all know, there is no big lesson that COVID has provided to us as the importance of critical care. I can tell you, in the beginning of the scourge of COVID, we were busy running around trying to see how do you train a critical care specialist within a week or two for them to be able to serve in a unit. You guys have done 1 year, 2 years in a unit, so you can imagine what we were trying to achieve in just 1-2 week period compared to the months that you've put in place. And so today, again, I really note and emphasize that you are what the country would call a strategic resource, and we look forward to your contributions in this space as you get out to serve the country. My assurance to this institution is that the Ministry of Health will continue to partner with you to enhance skills in the training of pediatric nursing and pediatric critical care nursing, and I expect that this will contribute greatly to the reduction of morbidity and mortality among children in Kenya. Today is a big milestone, and we are extremely proud of you all. We also do thank Gertrude for their partnership by extension through the Kenya Pediatric Fellowship Program under KPA. And under this program, we do expect going forward that a total of 94 nurses from all 47 counties will benefit from training in both pediatric nursing and pediatric care nursing from 2020 all the way to 2023. And the ministry reiterates its commitment. I do applaud you, your families, your support systems and structures who've sacrificed to see you through your studies during one of the most difficult economic times that we have witnessed. And I hope that you will take up your space bravely and boldly as you do, and that our country and the world are counting on you. Congratulations to each and every one of you graduating today, and all the best in your new chapter. And as I conclude, I would like to just mention 2 things off the cuff. As you move forward in your journey, it's always important to think of yourself as a concentric circle. If you all remember our physics classes, we had the very center of the nucleus and the atom, and we had the rings. Do you remember that class? I didn't do too well in physics, otherwise I'd be in engineering, but I remember there was something that looked like that, a structure where there's a center and there's concentric rings around you. I have your list today, and I'm talking to Jane, Kishuru, Kaburu, I can see Mutembe, Betty. You're in the center, and there's a circle around you. The center is yourself, and you're moving within a great universe. You always need to remember, 1, that which that you're achieving today, the degree that you've worked for today, is not yours. And I want that to sink into you. You don't leave in a vacuum by yourself. That accreditation that you're getting today is not yours. And speaker after speaker have come forward here, and I like that your chief tutor was talking about you serving people, you not necessarily participating in strikes, you ensuring that the care is getting to your patients. I want to reiterate, one, through my own lived experience, but also through the spaces where we sit and what we see. The degree is not yours. And once you walk around knowing that that accreditation is not yours, you will then be able to serve people, and in return, you will actually be serving yourself. And that is very, very important to remember. Number two, nothing happens by chance. Some of you have graduated today, you have critical care nursing experience and credentials. Nobody is going to map out the next journey for you. Not even government, not even serikali saidia. Do you understand what I'm saying? Not even serikali saidia. It is you. It is your responsibility to determine what you do with that paper for the community, but also for yourself. And so it's going to be important for you to also think outside the box, look for innovative mechanisms of how you utilize your degree. We've had lots and lots of engagements with staff over the past few months, years in the ministry. And sometimes we have people who leave the profession, who graduate and are very dejected because of what they find in the health space when it comes to income opportunities. You need to be innovative. You need to think outside the box. Gertrude as an institution is already putting in place telemedicine services. The ministry has already put in place a policy and accreditation for telemedicine services. So I'm looking forward to see how this class, this 15th graduation commemoration class, how you think outside the box so that you're not miserable and dejected and waiting for serikali to saidia you, because the times of things are changing. Within government, within also the private sector, spaces are shrinking despite increased demand and need for these specialist services. And so I'm curious to see what you do. And the opportunities are there. I can tell you we continuously are accrediting nursing institutions. We continuously are accrediting telemedicine practitioners. We continuously are accrediting different people who've gone into different ventures. And so my challenge to you right now, as you walk out, it is Friday, as you celebrate, as you dance, as you toast to that glass of wine, champagne, or beer, I need you to be thinking what the next 5 years look like for yourself. And to remember, you are chiefly responsible. There is no serikali saidia. You have an individual responsibility to your success. Asanteni.
Thank you, our chief guest, Dr. Mercy Mwangangi, for your remarks. So as she takes a sip of water, I want us to move to the next event in our program, and this is the award of diplomas and merit recognitions. So I want to request Zuhura Shikanga to kindly step forward, and I'll also ask Madam Perez, the principal, to be upstanding. We want to assist the chief guest to give these awards. Then, just to avoid crowding on the stage, I want the faculty, the coordinators of various programs, to stand one by one. We'll start with the pediatric critical care, and therefore I'll request the coordinator for pediatric critical care to come forward. And the graduates, kindly prepare, because we'll follow the list as it is, and when the first name is on the stage, the next two should actually be close by to help us save on time. So after the critical care, we'll go to the pediatric nursing program, and then after that, we'll go to the Kenya Registered Community Health Nursing Program, and then wind up with Certificate in Advanced Emergency Medical Technicians. So kindly, Zuhura is upstanding. I'll request Madam Principal to come and stand, and then I request our chief guest to kindly come and grace this occasion. So we begin with the Pediatric Critical Care Nursing Coordinator. Kindly take the stage. Thank you.
Hi, hi, hi.
Tumeuona mkono wake Bwana.
Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon. All right, so we are going to begin with conferment of higher diploma in pediatric critical care nursing, and we'll start with the class of April 2019. Pamela, you ready? Okay. Espila Gertrude Isendi. Gishuru Jane Mary Nyaguthi. Kaburu Naomi Wanjiru.
Let's clap for our colleagues for their achievement.
Kendi Masi. Kirui Anna Chelagat. Musema Sylvie Vira. Mutai Rose Chepkemoi. Ndonga Lilian Wangari. Njuguna Janet Wanjiku. Rengera Lucy Kawira. Sigei Eva Chepngeno. Sunda Delphine Nyanchoka. Wangeshi Faith Wanjiru. Zano Abiona Gloria. Kindly we'll go around as we are simulated. We'll go around as we had simulated. And as you come as well, you can shine, eh? Okay? I think we can build some music, DJ. Thank you. Some nice music in the background. Okay. Conferment of higher diploma in pediatric critical care, September 2019 class. Billy Ajay. William Gatini. Kaundura Joram Kirini. Make sure you capture the moment with the photo. Micheka Nancy Nairu. Some music, DJ. They come swagging a bit, kindly. Thank you. It's a little bit high, okay? Midoni Esther Wangui. Let's see some dance. Esther, you can come dancing. Morania Jacinta Twende. Jacinta, some moves, Jacinta. Some moves. Ndita Betty Kanini. Mary Emily. Ondisi Leonida Simbeni. Ndita, come with some moves. Ogonyo Faith Kondoka. Wanjira Yulis Helena. Remember, we are going round so that you don't crowd. Eh? We are going round once you receive your award. Ogonyo Faith Komboka. Faith, moves, please. Moves. Yeah. You are also serious. You only have one day. Come on. Wanjira Helena Yunis. Okay, thank you. Okay, conferment of higher diploma in pediatric critical care nursing, September 2020 class. Chege Milkandita. Yes. Yeah, just come. Give me some music, DJ. Chepkirui Kendia Ross. Kaburu Mukami Kalin. Kaburu Mukami Kalin. Kandei Dea Berin. Karupanya Charity Kenya. Let's see what you have. Kerandi Orucho Daniel. Okay, that's Kandei. Charity Kenya, let's see what you have. Kerandi Orucho Daniel. Kimanzi Peter Mogangi. Kiyanju Esther Gadoni. Kiyanju Esther Gadoni. Clap for her. Kimuha Brian Mutumi. Kupino Ruth Mzeni, in absentia. Maina Paulette Ironyo. Marube Egla Kerube. Marusel Geoffrey Kipto. Muchonji Millicent Robai. Egla Kerube. Marusel Geoffrey Kipto. Muchonji Millicent Robai. Muchangi Paul Mugo. Muchangi Paul Mugo. Minta Martin in absentia. Mutendei Betty Kinanu. Clap for others so that you be clapped for, surely. Mutonga Anna Wanjiku. DJ Music. Mwaiwa Joan Mutio in absentia. Okay, as you leave, you can leave with the dance. Emma Bwari Mwamba. Emma Bwari Mwamba.
Everything you put your hand go walk. Your name go open doors. You self go be
Mjue Moses Muchangi.
Everything you put your hand go walk. Your name go open doors. You self go
Yabito Elfas Gisebe.
Every hustler getting.
Nyongesa Lona Wesonga.
Where the hustle go come to play. Your body not will take. Amen. If you don't find work to your own.
Yabito Elfas Gisebe. Let's clap for them as they come forward. Nyongesa Lona Wesonga.
If you believe it, say amen. If you believe it, say amen. If you believe it, say amen. Amen. Amen.
Ogogo Elizabeth Ajando. Omayo Felix Masiogi. Let's see what you have, Omayo. Omayo Felix Masiogi.
You self go be a boss. Amen. Amen. Sister, where one man sees.
Ongeki Vera Kemunto.
One day you go born twins. Amen.
Otito Lori Awuno.
We're not losing job.
Ongeki Vera Kemunto.
One day you go be landlord. Amen. Amen. Good news go locate you. What you see in novelty. If you believe
Otito Lori Awuno. Oyondi Dorin Efukuni, Wahome Milka Wanziku, Wahome Milka Wanziku, Simi Nafula Fiona, and finally Wanja Priska.
God has sent me to. I have a message for you. God has sent me to. Listen, them say, them tell you say.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel. I want to invite the class coordinator for the pediatric nursing, Diana Mutuli. Karibu.
Good afternoon, all. The next group, we are awarding the Higher Diploma in Pediatric Nursing. This was the first online nursing council class, and in absentia, we award the April 2019 class, Muteru Patricia Kamiri, and Rona Linda Chepngetich. They would not be with us today, but they sent their apologies. The next class, Higher Diploma in Pediatric Nursing, this is the September 2019 class of 2. We were a larger group at the start, but we lost a few. But graduating today is Mudoni Esther Mombi and the Pondo Winnie Award. This was the longest class we ever had. They were in class for 18 months because of Corona. Next is the Higher Diploma in Pediatric Nursing, September 2020 class. We have Koske Winsam Jepkemoy, Malin Halimo Nur in absentia, Bai Dilha Bibian, Mukoya Evelyn Omuronji, Mutua Damaris Mweni, Noike David Wainaina, Odari Flavian Musimbi, Owende Louis Okinyi, and finally Wesonga Clementina Akor.
Thank you, Diana. I'll invite the class coordinator for the Kenya Registered Community Health Nurses, Winnie Nzai. Karibu.
Good afternoon. Diploma in Kenya Registered Community Health Nursing. Chaka Beni Mwako, Joroge Cindy and Jerry, Achoki Brian Samoita. Let's clap for them. Oliechi Regina Odiambo, Omondi Janet Octroy, and Warugi Veronica Wandare.
Your own in amen. If you don't find work to your own, God said go to your own.
Thank you. So kindly want to call the coordinator for emergency medical technician course, Mr. Richard Mann.
Good afternoon, all. Good afternoon. Thank you. Before I call the names, allow me to say something. 95% of emergencies happen outside the hospital facilities or health facilities. And a doctor and nurse, a clinician, is happy to receive a patient who has received care, if not stabilized. In the spirit of bringing healthcare close to the public and also reducing mortality rates, I think we should also re-strategize or increase our strategies in nipping the bud. That said, I present to you the foot soldiers, which we call emergency medical technicians. Akini Sharon. Thomas Geoffrey Okon. Ifa Marlin Fatuma. Kariuki Annie Wanjiro, sorry. And then Khaemba Johan Dubi in absentia. Kigongo Juma Yunis. We can clap for them. Kosgei Daisy Chepchirchir. Matheka Sylvester Daniel. Masi Washina Deuri. Musendi Peter Kali. Let's clap for them, let's encourage them. Mohammed Khalif Mohammed, this guy came all the way from Mandera, so that's where he was. Nieno Teresia Loco, Ngugi Glory, Nyagudi Musandu Nyagudi, Nzao Fraser Asioka, Ochieng Humphrey, Odhiambo Rachel Ongoka, Washeke John Nyanga, and lastly but not least, Yvonne Modoni Washira.
Thank you, Richard, and thank you, our chief guest. Okay. So we are moving to the next. So among the awards, there were specific awards for those graduates who were first among equals, those who are recognized for doing much more than what the rest of us did. So I want to invite Pamela Omingo to come forward, and then I'll invite Ms. Caroline Mushina from the Nursing Council of Kenya to lead in the presentation of recognition awards for the outstanding performance. So Pamela Omingo and Ms. Caroline Mushina, assisted by Zuhura and Euphrasia.
Good afternoon, everyone. Our chief guest and our distinguished guest. I'm here on behalf of the Registrar of the Nursing Council of Kenya. My name is Caroline Mushina. She passes her congratulatory messages. Her and the board of the council, they are very proud of you. You've come a long way. They say that they acknowledge your resilience and your hard work and shall not go unnoticed. Her prayer is that you all remain in good standing and that may all your paths open. Congratulations once more.
So the awards of diploma, we are starting with the Kenya Registered Community Health Nurse. The best student was Veronica. Veronica Wangari Warindi. Overall students in pediatric nursing training, September 2019 class, was Esther Mumbi Modoni. Best overall students, pediatric nurse training, class, Clementina Akoth Wesonga. The next overall goes to the best overall pediatric critical care nurse, Janet Wanjiko Njuguna. Best overall pediatric critical care nurse, September 2019 class, Mary Ajambo. Best overall pediatric critical care nurse, September 2020 class, Paul Mugo Mushangi. Best overall EMT, Nyagudi Musandu Nyagudi.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, as is our tradition, when nurses qualify or graduate, of course, you have that responsibility that your decisions should always be for the best interest of your patients and preserve life as much as you can. And in all you do, always think of doing good. So we have what we call the Nurses Pledge, because we do a pledge at the end of our qualification and graduation. And in that capacity, I want to invite our Chief Nursing Officer. So the Chief Nursing Officer for Gertrude's Children's Hospital, Ms. Carol Ailo, to lead through the candle lighting ceremony. Karibu, Carol.
Some brightly burning, some dark and cold. There is a spirit who brings
Congratulations once more. I am very proud of you. In Gertrude, we are natural dancers, so I am so disappointed that you didn't come dancing and shaking, but it's okay. So as our tradition in the nursing fraternity, after such a function, we are supposed to remind ourselves of our pledges and our vows. So I'd request that all nurses in the room to have a candle and to get your candles lit. I will light mine and then because we've been sitting for long, we all be upstanding for our vows. Also make sure that you have a copy of your vows with you. Let's stand, kindly let's stand and stretch.
some brightly burning, some dark and cold. There is a spirit who brings a fire, ignites a candle, and makes it warm. So carry your candle, run to the darkness, seek out the hopeless, confused and torn. Hold out your candle for all to see. Take your candle.
Do you all have our candles?
See how he's trying to light his own candle some other way. See how she's been robbed.
Okay. I can see some innovative nurses who have lit their candles on their phones. It's good to be with technology savvy nurses. Okay, do we all have our pledges with us? Okay. So we can go ahead and say our nurses pledge. I solemnly pledge myself before God and in the presence of this assembly to pass my life in purity and to practice my professional faithfully. I will abstain and mischievous, and I will do all in my power to maintain and elevate the standard of my profession, and I will hold in confidence all matters pertaining and affairs coming to my knowledge in the practice of my calling, with loyalty, so help me God. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. We can have our candles off. Just watch out you don't cause any fire, but I know you are trained. You are trained and you can handle any emergencies, but at least let's switch off the candles. So once more, we can just have 3 rounds of hearty claps. So we do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, because we want to congratulate all of us now that we have the powers to do all that ascertain to our qualifications. So let's warm up. We are going to do three rounds, and that's it. So let's go. Thank you so much. So before I invite Dr. Thomas Nguri to give the vote of thanks, and as he prepares to come, I kindly want to once more request our chief guest to be upstanding and our CEO just to step forward. We have a small gift for the chief guest, and I want our CEO to hand over to the chief guest. So Zuhura will assist in passing the gift. So you can clap. Thank you so much. I finally want to invite Dr. Thomas Nguri, who is the head of clinical services at Gertrude's Hospital, for the vote of thanks. Karibu sana, Daktari.
Thank you very much, Dan. To our graduates, congratulations. We share in this great joy. This would not have been possible without the effort of very many people who made it happen. And I want to single out just a few of those. One is our tutors, led by Madame Perez, for their dedicated service and for imparting their knowledge wholeheartedly. Special thanks to the hospital management, led by the CEO, in giving the support to the training school that is required to deliver on its mandate. To the hospital's board of trustees, led by the chair, Mr. Alec Davis, please pass our gratitude to the board of trustees for supporting management to deliver. To you, our graduates, for your effort. You did the hardest work, for being able to excel, and we've also heard about those very impressive results, including 30% being distinctions. Although they are not with us today, but your families, we know they missed you. They gave you to us for 1 year. In one class, they gave you to us for 18 months. We know it's a sacrifice. It's a pity they couldn't join you today because of our COVID situation, but please pass our gratitude to them. For clinical rotations, we have to partner with other hospitals to give you full exposure, and we want to thank our partner hospitals, including the Aga Khan University Hospital, the Mata Hospital, Kenyatta National Hospital, Kiambu County Referral Hospital, and Mathare Hospital. For all our heads in the clinical areas within Gertrude's Hospital, thank you for hosting the students. This is all our awards and relevant departments. Represented here by Dr. Joseph Mbai, we want to thank the county government for your support, for expeditiously releasing many of the county staff who formed a big part of these classes, and for the Health Caucus, for your leadership and for your support. We remain grateful. To the Ministry of Health as our partner, for your contribution in financial support for meeting the program halfway in supporting the county staff who are graduating today. For the Kenya Pediatric Fellowship Program that provided 50% of the funding for your training. This consists of the Kenya Pediatric Association with technical support from the Clinton Health Access Initiative. We acknowledge your contribution. Then there are many individual hospitals who supported their staff to train, and we'd like to acknowledge Consolata Hospital in Nyeri, the Metropolitan Hospital in Nairobi, Tenwek Hospital, MP Shah Hospital, the Nairobi Hospital, the Defense Forces Memorial Hospital, Albany Hospital, and E10 Hospital. For those we may have forgotten to mention, in any way that you contributed to the success of the program, we are truly grateful, and thank you very much.
Are we hungry? That clap is a bit light. Can we make it slightly heavy? Okay, so we've come to the end of our day today. Of course, the program, but we still have time for some refreshment and entertainment. So during this COVID, it's hard to take photos. We would have loved all of us to at least get some group photos. But I will kindly request, after the closing prayer that will be offered by Perez Obonyo, she'll pray the closing prayer and also pray for the food. And then at the end of the closing prayer, I'll request our guests seated on my left, and those graduates who are recognized, the 7 of them, to come forward so that we have a group photo. And then when we are breaking for lunch, again, just for protocol purposes, we'll have our guests seated on left and right. Walk out. We just want to space out a bit. So you'll be guided to where you'll be having your lunch at the back. And then the rest of us will have our lunch in here. So just remain seated. The waiters will wait upon us at that time. So for now, I want to invite Madam Perez for the closing prayer. And then we have a group photo. And then we can usher our chief guest, accompanied by other guests, out. And then all of us can now remain and have our refreshment. Thank you so much. Let's clap for Madam Perez. She's done a wonderful job organizing this. And at least ensure that we keep our word. We said we'll be out of this place by 1:40 p.m. and actually we are right in time. So congratulations and thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dan, for a job well done. I am here to just give the closing remarks. But before I do that, I would like to recognize a few people who have not been mentioned, and I feel it will be unfair to go without mentioning them. I want to appreciate the organizing team, the people we worked with to organize this program and to have this venue as it is. And I want to recognize Faith Waweru. Please wave to the people. Suhura Chikanda. Our own librarian, Ifresia Ligabo. Want to appreciate Martin Mulwa, Peter Kanda. We also want to appreciate Anthony Mukui, who has been really helping us with the county nurses. Grace Rukwaro, please wave to the people. She's in the KPF Secretariat, and she's been very crucial. I want to also recognize Consolata Kalafa from the pediatric chapter. And everybody else whom I've not mentioned, please feel appreciated. Now let us pray. Dear Heaven and everlasting Father, Lord in heaven, we come before you this afternoon with gratitude. Thank you, dear Father, for your goodness, for your mercies, and for your love, O God. Father, we plan, but if you are not in our plans, things cannot go the right way. And therefore we come before you, Lord, just to say thank you for enabling us, O God. We have planned for this day, we have seen its success, and as we come to the close of it, God, all the glory and all the honor go back to you. We commit these students who have now become graduates unto your able hands. Father, open their doors by this virtue of this certification, oh God, and this graduation. That, Lord Jesus, you will give them knowledge, power, and wisdom to do what is right. And above all, Lord, that you open opportunities unto their lives. Thank you for everyone, oh God. I want to pray for our hospital, especially the clinical department led by Ms. Carolyn Ailo and Consolata McFire, and all the others who work under their authority, mighty Father, for they have given us a good place to practice. We do want to thank you for them. We thank you for the Nursing Council, who is our regulator, mighty Father, that they are going to give opportunity to these nurses, oh God, even to grow into their profession. We thank you, mighty Father, for the Kenya Council of Emergency Technicians, oh God, for giving us opportunity to train for them, O King of Glory. We thank you for everyone. We thank you for Safari Park, oh God, because they have given us this venue and they have taken good care of us, Almighty Father. Jehovah God, you are the awesome one and you are good. As we leave this place and as we plan to take a meal, O King of Glory, we want to remember them who do not have, O God. Help us, Lord, to enjoy our meal, and as we shall be leaving this place, O God, to go to our respective homes. Father, Lord, I want to pray for Johnny Mercies. May your name be glorified. May your name be blessed. All this I pray, believing and trusting in the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
So, Martin, kindly guide us how you want us to stand for the group photo. I invite the guests to come to the podium and the 7 graduates that we mentioned. Kindly make your way forward.
Every hustler getting paid. When the hustle go come to pay, your own in no take. Amen. If you don't find work, do your own. God self go do his own, and flesh go cover bone. Amen. Amen. If you believe it, say amen. If you believe it, say amen. If you believe it, say amen. 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 Everything you put your hand go on. Your name go open doors. You self go be a boss. Amen. Amen. Everything you put your hand go on. Your name go open doors. You self go be a boss. Amen. Amen. Sister where one man sees until where they find begin. One day you go born twist. Amen. Amen. You're not we don't losing job. Landlord come they do like God. One day you go be landlord. Amen. Amen. Good news go locate you. Watch and see it not go take. If you believe it, say amen. No. Amen. Amen. Everything you put your hand go up. Your name go open doors. You self go be a boss. Amen. Amen. Everything you put your hand go walk. Your name go open doors. You self go be a boss. Amen. Amen. Long life go follow you. Strangers go favor you. Great men go honor you. Amen. Amen. One day you go sign the check, oh. You self go drive that Benz, oh. This life go still make sense, oh. Amen. Your children go make you proud, oh. Bad people no go pull you down, no. One day you go run this town, oh. Amen. Amen. You self go spray me money. Baby go call you honey. You self go host the party. Amen. Amen. Dangote go be your friend. Otedola go be your friend. Adenuga go be your guy. Amen. Amen. Elubelu go be your guy. Abdusamad go be my guy. Rabbi you go be my guy. Amen. Amen. Your life no go end in shame. Your business go bring you gain. If you believe it, say amen. Amen. Amen.
Namshukuru Mola kanijalia mrembo wa sura hadi tabia na kila sababu ya kujivunia yani kila kona umetimia, napenda manukato kinukia, ukinigusa ndo nazimia yani kama ndege hawanaye, tuogelee na tupae kwenye kiota tukakae minawe, uje nikubebe washangae wenye uchungu wakazae, tukicheza kuchekuchi na hotae minawe, unakula pia wala huna fito, chuchu za kunitoa majicho hata uvae gunia, bado uko simple unapendeza, shepu sinia kiuno kijiko.